US President Donald Trump is mocking Britain's ambassador to Washington, calling him a very stupid guy. Trump's lashing out at Sir Kim Darroch after he described the Trump administration as inept and dysfunctional.
This comes after a UK outlet published Darroch's confidential memos.
It started yesterday with this thread accusing Prime Minister May of creating a mess with Brexit, contrary to the advice he'd given her. He also referred to Ambassador Darroch as not liked or well thought of, and that the US would no longer deal with him. Earlier Tuesday there was more, referring to the envoy as wacky and stupid, saying he didn't know him, but heard he was a pompous fool.
I would say that the UK and the ambassador has not served the UK well. I can tell you that. We're not big fans of that man, and he has not served the UK well.
The UK government has expressed full confidence in their envoy, while the Foreign Secretary tried to address the question of the original leaked memo.
I'm very concerned about it because fundamental to the proper functioning of our diplomatic network, which I happen to believe is one of the finest, if not the finest in the world, is to be able to exchange opinions frankly. And so we need to find out how it happened, not least to give confidence to our teams all over the world that they can continue to give us their frank assessment. So that's why we're going to have a leak inquiry. I hope we get to the bottom of it, and of course there'll be very serious consequences if and when we find out who's responsible.
Darroch's memo also described President Trump as radiating insecurity, but the Foreign Secretary defended his right to be frank, while not necessarily sharing the same position.
It is not acceptable to do this because it fundamentally undermines the brilliant work done by the Foreign Office all over the world. And we need to be confident that people can express frank opinions. We need to be able to have a debate inside these buildings. We need to be able to disagree. And, of course, I made it clear that I don't share the Ambassador's assessment of either the US administration or relations with the US administration. But I do defend his right to make that frank assessment, and it's very important that our diplomats all over the world continue to be able to do so.
Downing Street earlier called the leak unfortunate and has begun a formal investigation. The leak of this diplomatic cable will bring back stark reminders of the 2010 United States leak that saw WikiLeaks release classified cables sent to the US State Department by their diplomatic missions around the world, causing great embarrassment to the government here, including allegations that the US had instructed diplomats to spy on the UN leadership, including then Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, and a memo in 2000 that revealed an alleged offer from former UN chief Kofi Annan to Zimbabwe's Robert Mugabe of a lucrative retirement package if he were to stand down as president then. On the UK case, it remains unclear how much longer Ambassador Kim Darroch can effectively remain in his post, despite the confidence expressed in him by his government. Bryce-Peace, SABC News, New York.